Oh, hi there. I'm so glad you're here. It's your host, Magic Mirror. Today I'm going to show you all the builds I currently use, so check them out. First up here is Soldier Girl. Her name pretty much says it all, doesn't it? I decided to keep her at sort of a randomly chosen mid-level with plus 12 weapons, and I seem to get plenty of invasions this way. All she has is some sweet freaking fashion, a basic longsword called the Longsword, a lucerne, some other melee weapons, and a shield with Carian retaliation. Since she's low level, all her stats are basically concentrated in vigor, and to make up for this, I've given her cold weapon so you can have some nice burst damage. Next up is Reen, Red Carian. She's a Carian knight who uses blood magic. All it takes is 25 faith to meet the casting requirements, and the rest goes into intelligence. Since she is level 168, it's no big loss. We've got an armor set to suggest both Carian Splendor and Bloody Crimson. Her primary weapons are all magic infused, magic scythe with the red as slash, magic unsheathed Uchigatana, magic Roger's rapier with glintstone phalanx for extra pressure, and magic twin blades. Her spell kit includes both the long-ranged and self-AoE blood magic spells, Carian Slicer, Carian Piercer, and magic glint blade to help mix things up. The 25 faith is also useful for adding buffs like Golden Bow and Barrier of Gold. So weak. So next up after that, this one is still a build in the making, an aspiring int dex build named appropriately Magic Mirror. Isn't the fashion cute? I tried to make her look a little bit like my channel icon. Right now her main weapon is the Death Poker, but by the time she's finished, we'll have the Death Ritual Spear, the Wing of Estelle, the Bastard Stars, and a bunch of cold-infused dex-scaling weapons to boot, along with the ability to combo spells at max speed, so she'll probably be about level 168 by the time I'm done with her. Be looking forward to it. In particular, the reason I wanted to go Dex Int before using some of these weapons is the Death Poker, for example, you can only actually scale the damage of the Ash of War off of your intelligence, but the weapon damage primarily scales quality, leaning heavily towards Dex. Same thing with the Death Ritual Spear and some of the other weapons as well. So for that reason, we're going to go for Dex Int, and it'll be fun to have my first max casting build as well. Next up on the agenda, we have got Witch Ozma, my other witch build, one I haven't made a video on yet. Isn't the tree symbol tabard kind of cute with the Ranni hat? It also helps make her a little bit more durable too. Her main weapons are a magic Clayman's harpoon with repeating thrust, which is one of my absolute favorite Ashes of War, and it does some real work on her. I also run a magic large club, because it's nice to have a bonking and hyper armoring weapon, with Waves of Darkness for a get the fuck off me button. Her spell loadout is pretty standard, with a Gavel of Haima, Cannon of Haima, Comet, Adula's Moonblade, and Glintstone Arc doing a lot of the work. I also have Terra Magica as another option to add extra damage when feasible. So check her out in a future video and enjoy her fashion in the meantime. So let's see, moving on. Here's a build that we've seen a lot of before. My Pure Dex, mostly meta level build. Infinite Bliss at level 128. Do you love the fashion as much as I do? Dex opens up a lot of options, but I've really come to favor a Keen Guardian Sword Spear with, you guessed it, Repeating Thrust, Lightning Katars with Beast Roar, Raptor Claws with Endure, and the Hand of Millennia for heavy-duty gank busting. I used to find meta-level invasions to be pretty annoying, but dedicated single-stat builds have proven to be pretty fun and pretty viable, and in particular, that Beast Roar on the Lightning Katar absolutely shuts down ranged attack spammers and Dragon's Roar addicts. And there's just something about fist weapons in this game. You can really get up close, especially with that Katar jab, and just take out people in an instant. Definitely it doesn't hurt to have the true combo on the Guardian Sword Spear either. So that's my Dex build. You'll definitely be seeing a lot of her. Now here is Ranni's Hot Wife, my level 168 glam butch quality build. Quality is absolutely underpowered at meta level, and you are generally better off investing in a single stat. But around 168, when you finally have some points to start spreading around, the damage actually kind of returns for quality. It really starts to kick in, especially with the dedicated quality somber smithing stone weapons like the Commander Standard, the Dragon Halberd, the Sword of Milos, Bloodhound's Fang, Axe of Godric, and of course the Giza's Wheel. The Cold Shamshir, the Quality Knight Greatsword, and the Quality Curved Great Club are also fantastic options. They'll all give you really high AR with purely physical damage, so your hits don't suffer as much from the Curse of Split damage, and you can use Grace Buff as well. Expect a lot more Giza's Wheel invasions in the future, since I'm really interested in using that weapon more. And Witch Vivian, my me character. Level 168 shouldn't work, but it does build, focused on intelligence, arcane, and strength with the great oracular bubble at the center of my strategy. I have plenty of videos featuring this character because frankly she's the coolest. She has an Arrow's Reach talisman to increase bubble reach and duration. Her main weapons are an occult Revolver Militia Saw with an all-purpose endure that enables uninterrupted casting with the bubble or Zamor Ice Storm, Cold Great Stars with Waves of Darkness, or an offhanded pair of Bloodstar Fists with Bloodhound Step for quick escapes, and Blink or you'll miss it bleed procs. To help with the area control or trick her enemies into the bubble, she also has Gravity Well and on her spell bar, Gravity Fans in her item bar, and other utility and damage spells like Night Maiden's Mist and a Duelist Moonblade to be used where applicable. This one has the magic fam. So, yeah, expect to see a lot more of her. And of course, we have Lady Charlene, my strength-emphasized, strength-faith build at level 168. Weapons are much more effective than casting on a build like this, so this one's all about using a key set of weapons. Gargoyle's Black Blade, Gargoyle's Black Twin Blades, and the Black Blade of Malekith are crucial. And the Gargoyle's Black Blade has a range punish Ash of War that has actually proven far more useful and stylish than I ever imagined. Also essential to this build are the Golden Halberd, which gets ridiculous damage from Strength Faith scaling, and the Ordovis's Greatsword, which has a massive base damage and a Hyper Armor AoE Ash of War that's a true trading machine and can really bust up ganks that stick too close together. In addition to that, you can see that there are a ton of weapons on here that I use, and if you watch the videos, you can see the diversity of weapons there, but given the presence of buff options like Golden Vow, just about any heavy infused base weapon will also thrive on this meaty build. And so, in addition to that, we have Starcaller Stacy, a level 150 strength and gravity knight build with a heavy strength emphasis. Her key weapons are going to be the Ruin's Greatsword, the Falling Star Beastjaw for range punishes, the Meteoric Oreblade as an all-around solid kind of weapon with a fantastic unique R2 that works great as a roll catch after you use the Gravitas Ash of War. The Cold Rusted Anchor with Waves of Darkness and an Impaling Thrust, Cold Knight's Twin Swords, since they both have insanely good strength and int scaling. You actually get B and int even on the Cold Knight's Twin Sword, so that can be pretty cool. Of course, I have loaded her up with Gravity Fans and a complement of Gravity and Star-themed spells to round out the build for utility primarily rather than damage per se. Destined Debbie, level 168, dexterity and faith balanced for max casting speed. Sort of like Witch Vivian, one of her primary weapons is an Endure Flame Art Godskin Stitcher, combining the properties of assertive poking and uninterruptible spell casting. Other key weapons include the Dex Faith Scaling Godslayer Greatsword and a Flame Art Godskin Peeler with Black Flame Tornado. I'm keeping her spell list intentionally lean so I don't get lost like shuffling spells like I can sometimes do on other builds, like especially with Ozma that happens. So she's got Black Flame for ranged free throws, Black Flame Ritual for area control, Death Lightning plus Endure for favorable trades against aggressive opponents, Lightning Sphere for a fast ranged punish, and 2 other flavors of lightning just for fun. And yeah, so that's Destined Debbie. You'll definitely see her in the future as well. Here's Edelgard, level 168 now, rather than 150 in the previous video. Of course, she is Strength Faith with a heavy faith emphasis for casting. Edelgard from Fire Emblem Three Houses uses axes as her primary weapon, and is also capable of casting devastating fire magic if you train her in reason-based spellcasting. So I've loaded her up with Flaming Strike Crescent Axe, other fire-infused axes, an Endure Misery Cord, since she canonically carries an emergency dagger, and a whole gamut of Giant's Flame spells, including O Flame, Catch Flame, Burn O Flame, and the utterly essential ranged free throw Giant's Flame Take Thee. People say axes are underpowered, and they definitely are, but when used properly, Edelgard can still bust the toughest of ganks. I've honestly had a lot of fun with this build. Oh yeah, and I've got Flame Grant Me Strength as well, just to buff up the spellcasting and the split damage on the weapons. So here's another one who doesn't have her own video yet. Onee-chan. Hey. You know, the big sister who can beat you up. Meta-ish 128 pure strength build with cool fashion, a suite of strength weapons, and heterochromic eyes, which are the only thing about her that's hetero. The real winners on this build are the Heavy Iron Greatsword with Piercing Fang or Spinning Slash, Heavy Iron Spear with, there's that name again, Repeating Thrust, Heavy Greatsword with Lion's Claw, and Heavy Knight Cavalry Halberd with Sword Dance, just to, you know, do those pokes and, you know, get a nice roll catch with Sword Dance. It's always stylish, and you have incredible range on the Knight Cavalry Halberd, so that can be pretty effective. She also has enough faith to cast Bestial Vitality, Flame Cleanse Me, and a few elemental buffs, just in case, you know, for extra utility on the battlefield. Next up, another cosplay build, and one with no video yet, except for one of my shorts, I believe. It's the level 168 Faith Arcane build, Summoner Rydia. She is based on Rydia from Final Fantasy IV, of course, so she has an Endure Occult Thorn Whip for emergencies, an Occult Spiked Spear, so she can summon Odin with Phantom Slash, and a Dragon Communion Seal, so she can summon the Dragon of Mist with Borealis's Mist, summon Bahamut with Placid Axe's Ruin, cast Fire 3 with Giant's Flame Take Thee, and cast Lightning 2 with Lightning Bolt. Do you have any idea how much I wish I could turn her fashion green? Oh well, close enough is enough, right? She's sort of a gimmick build since she uses that broken light roll, but I don't see any potential for fashion-capable options for making her poisier and heavier, so might as well just roll and troll and let this be one of the shitty gimmick builds. And yeah, so she'll be in an upcoming video. And this is pretty much everything she everything she does. The next build is my problem child, Serpent Tina. She's a Dex Arcane split at level 168, with her main weapons being the Blood Forked Greatsword with Piercing Fang or Poison Mist, the Blood Cross Naginata with Repeating Thrust or Poison Mist, the Coil Shield, Venomous Fangs, Eleanor's Bloodblade, Rivers of Blood, and Morgoth's Cursed Sword. Her talismans include the Kindred of Rot's Exaltation and the Lord of Blood's Exaltation. As the build is focused on proccing bleed and poison, it's taken me forever to warm up to this build. There's just something about going for status effect builds at 168 and knowing that you'll get so many phantom bleeds or watch the host run away while everyone is distracting you, and they'll just eat boluses so your so your status effects will go away. Seems like this solution is to be aggressive. Being aggressive is great. I wish there was a meme song about being aggressive that I could sing right now. Last, but certainly never least, we have my level 150 Pure Faith build, Mommy, the strongest of all archetypes drawn from the collective unconscious. Since she is Pure Faith, sacred infused weapons are the order of the day, but I think the real winner has to be the Golden Order Greatsword. The two-stage cancelable weapon art does excellent damage in both stages and will absolutely wipe out parties who are not prepared to dodge it properly. Originally, when I made this build, she was a wretch. I don't really know what I was thinking at that time, but by using Sell and Sell for fashion, I coincidentally was able to leverage this by unlocking Discus of Light, which is a very cheap and very effective projectile, and Dragon Claw, in addition to Faith Belt essentials like Giant's Flame Take Thee. Fun fact, Dragon Claw can trick people into being roll caught by Unendurable Frenzy. And that's about all the builds that I have. If you want more information, check your local freaking library. Peace.